As the title says, in this video I'm going to be programming Would You Rather in Roblox. And now this has been done a million times, however, they all sucked. I mean, just look at these questions. Be a guest or be a noob. Would You Rather is a game where you're supposed to get to know the other person you're playing it with better, not whether they want to be a noob or a guest. Now you might be thinking that's just a singular game. Okay, let's look at this one. It says answer life's hardest questions. So let's see these harder questions. Attend Hogwarts or train under Obi-Wan Kenobi. Okay, not gonna lie, that's not that bad of a question. But wait, believe me, there are some terrible ones. Eat a breakfast with only jelly beans or eat a breakfast with only hot wings. Okay, not gonna lie, this game's questions are not that bad. However, all these games questions are more designed towards little kiddies. And you know, on this channel we're adults. Just turned 18 a couple weeks ago. Therefore, my version's gonna have way better questions for us boomers. I mean, really, I want them to be questions that you can play with your friend and actually take a minute to think about them. Now, I feel like I'm over-promising and I'm about to under-deliver, but we'll see. Now, this should be a very simple game to program. In fact, not gonna lie, I feel like the hardest part is just gonna be building a nice map. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I barely know what I'm doing here. Okay, I mean, I've sort of got something going on here. By something, I mean, I wrote or. I think that looks cool. I mean, I'm not entirely sure how I'm making this. It can either be indoors or outdoors. And you know what? Since I can't decide, let's just move on to coding this. So most of the code is actually gonna take place on the server side because, well, the client is irrelevant here. We aren't really taking any input from the client. So for the code, what I'm thinking of having is 2 states for the game. And one of the states is gonna be the round where the game actually presents the question to you, and the other state is the answer when the answer is revealed. And then obviously we'll just have a countdown, and when the countdown's over, it'll just switch over to the next state and so on. Okay, so I just redid all the code and now it finally works. There we go. It says round time over and then answer time over, and then it's gonna say round time over and so on. And I made it so that I can adjust all the game settings, and currently we only have 2. Anyways, now I want to move on to creating a countdown for the client to see how much time they have left. And to do that, I'm going to place down a screen GUI inside of the starter GUI and then place a frame within that, and I am going to center it. So I'm trying to figure out how I should design this UI, and yes, it looks terrible right now, but I think I have a bit of an idea. So I don't know why, but whenever I stop recording, I find the bug within like 3 seconds, and it's the stupidest thing in the world. I had both of these variables just flipped over, and now, believe it or not, we have a countdown that looks pretty. Now, obviously, I mean, this looks pretty ugly in my opinion. However, I will change it in the future. And for now, it does the job. Now, my next goal is going to be to pick out a question and then count the players in each one of these zones. So finally, after some programming, I can finally see who's actually in the zone. So here I am standing in the red zone. And now it just printed players in red zone and it returns all the players in the middle. Look, it's me. Nobody's in the blue zone. Now, I wonder, what if I'm standing in between both of them? What's gonna happen? Oh, I'm in both zones. That's not good. Well, one thing I could do is separate them, or I can make a check so that if I'm already in one of the zones, then it won't count it towards the other zone. But I think there's an even better solution, which is so that when it's time for the results to appear, I'll just place down an invisible wall between them so that it forces you to either one of the sides. Actually, I don't know about that. I think that if you're in both zones, I'll just remove you simply. So now, if I'm standing in between both of them, bruh, did not work. Okay, so now it should work. Please work. Please. Oh my god. I have never seen somebody make mistakes as stupid as mine. Now this should work. Why am I in a single zone? I was supposed to be in none of the zones. Oh, of course. Of course. As I said, I make the stupidest mistake. And now it works. You can no longer be in both zones. Let's go. It took too long. I also want to add a little effect that happens when you enter each one of the zones. Because as for right now, I'm just walking back and forth. And well, I don't really know which zone I'm in. I mean, I do, but like, I want some feedback, if you know what I mean. And now to do that, I am going to add a particle effect. In other words, now it's time to make the game fun. And I'm going to add the questions soon, trust me. It's pretty much the last thing I got to add to the game. Now, I'm trying to get this to look right, but honestly, I suck. I want the particles to like jump. I don't know how to do that. What's squash? Oh, now after some programming, it should finally work. And look at it. It does. Wait, but I'm in the zone. Why is it replaying the effect each time? I want it to be so that it only plays when you're... Hold on a second. I think I know why. It looks a bit smoother now. And honestly, like to fix this issue, where both of them are playing at the same time when I go from one to the other, I could just place them apart, and now it works a lot better. I'm not sure why, but whenever I jump, it does the particle effect. But if I'm just walking around, it doesn't do it. But if I jump, it does. Why? I mean, I guess this bug is now a feature. I mean, I don't think people are really gonna mind this. So I think it's time to finally add questions to this game. And I've been putting this off for too long. I mean, I quite literally designed a particle effect for entering the zone before adding questions to a would you rather game. I don't know why I did that. So let's create a new module script and let's call it questions. And you can probably hear a waterfall behind me, and that's my dad showering. So while he showers, I'm just gonna Google a whole bunch of would you rather questions and I'll be back. Honestly, I could steal the questions I like from this website. Actually, that is what I'm gonna do. I'll be back in a second. So I just added a bunch of questions to a module script, and I also did something that's a little bit unique. So you know, in would you rather, the question is always just would you rather, and then you're just given two options, right? Like only eat meat or be vegan. Which one would you rather? However, I came up with this question on my own, but it's not really a would you rather question, and it's who would win in a fight, tiger or a grizzly bear? So I added a third component to each one of these tables, which is gonna be a unique question if there is one. So if I were to add a third line over here, then the question would no longer would you rather, it's going to be replaced by that line. So what that basically does is this game is no longer just would you rather, there's also going to be some special questions sprinkled in, which are all unique. I'm in the process of programming picking out question, and one thing I'm missing is I actually need to create an environment for this question, as in where it's going to be displayed. So let's do that right now. In the middle is where I'm going to display the question, and in front of the blue and red zones is where I'm gonna display the options. So if I did this right, it should work. I mean, it does work, but I kind of forgot to anchor. Why isn't everything anchored by default? I don't get it. Now it works. Would you rather be punched in the face by Mike? Oh my god, it already switched. Well, there are a few things I want to change. First of all, it's kind of hard to read these labels, and now it looks better. Would you rather forget who you are or forget who everyone you know is? Now we're still not done. There's one more thing we really gotta do, which is displaying what each player chose, if you know what I mean. I'm still trying to think about how I should do it. Like, I might have a UI that's like 20% of people voted for blue and 30% voted for red. My math is kind of off there. And then it displays all the players' names. But for the time being, I'm just going to try to beautify the game a little. So let me add a tree. I think these trees are a little too simple. I want to have some like big, unique, but still cartoonish looking trees around here, so that there's something behind these text labels. Fill out the space. And also try adding little pieces of grass, or actually I can use Roblox's technology, which I have no idea how to do. So after a little bit of work off camera, this is how I got the map to look like. Yes, it's not that good, I know, but hey, look, I added grass, which looks so nice. And I made some other minor changes, and yeah. So one more thing I want to add is, so when you pick a side, I wanted to display the results, as that is like pretty much the last thing I gotta do. However, I don't exactly have an idea for it, but I kind of do. So I just wanted to display the percentage of people that voted for blue and the percentage that voted for red, as well as how many people. But I don't know if it should be a UI that's on the player's screen or it should just pop up somewhere. I have no idea. I mean, I'm thinking of having it like pop up over here, so it says like 29% and 30%, whatever. You know what? That is what I'm gonna do. But in order to do that, I gotta add a surface GUI to this part, and then add a text label to it. Actually, first of all, let me add a frame to it, because what if I want to add other stuff later on, so I can add multiple text labels and stuff. Okay, so this is how it's gonna look. So whenever a round is over, it's just gonna display the percentage of people. I mean, I've repeated this 7 times. I don't know why I'm saying it again. But yeah, so if my code works correctly, this should work. Please. I mean, it does. But I mean, since I'm one player, it doesn't actually display the other side. Wait, hold on. Just give me a second. Okay, so it should look better now. Why did it take so long to do it though? So now, if we test the game out with 3 players, let's see what happens. Alright, so this first guy's gonna go here. Second guy's gonna go here. 3.33%. Well, why is it not displaying the other side? I may have messed up by code. Give me a second, guys. Yup, I forgot to enable the blue one. Let's try this out one more time. So I am getting close to finishing this game. There is one thing that's really annoying me, and it's the fact that every single time I jump, it does the particle effect. Now, I've come to the conclusion this is actually not my fault. My code works perfectly fine. However, Roblox is sort of broken, but there is a workaround. So I'm currently using an event called touched and touched ended, and really these two are the problem. I'm not sure what it is, but apparently they're just not that accurate. Like, every single time I jump, it triggers the touch ended, even though I'm still in the zone. this entire invisible thing is a zone. And you want evidence? Here, I'm gonna move it. See? Still happens. So the other solution is to like do a raycast that goes downwards from the player character and check if it hits a part and what part that is. So just imagine like a little light beam that's shooting downwards from my character, and if it hits this blue part over here, then that means I'm in the zone. And if it hits this red part, then it means I'm in the red zone, and so on. So now I'm gonna have to delete all of this code and start fresh. And I don't even really remember how raycasting works, but I guess I'm gonna learn that now. And the code finally works. So now when I enter a zone, the particles happen, and when I jump, it doesn't happen. Look, it's so beautiful. But the code does look a little bit messy. I'm definitely not gonna understand what's going on here if I look at this tomorrow. So now that we have the particles working, I also want to add one more thing alongside the particles. So I want the zone to glow when you're standing on it. By that I mean it's gonna look like this versus this when you're not standing on it. I don't know if this is a smart idea. I don't know if it's gonna look good, but we'll see. Alright, so now the zone changes color when you're standing on it, which I think is pretty cool. There are a couple more things I want to do, and one of them is standing on top of a player. I don't know if I want this to be in my game for one reason only, which is, what if you get like 10 players standing on top of each other? Or should I care, honestly? I mean, it's kind of fun to push people around, so actually I do change my mind. There is another thing I want to add. So you see this number over here? I think that when it gets to like 5, I think I want it to appear a bit cooler. As in, I want to create an animation for it, maybe change the color of it, the lower it gets. I don't know, at this point I'm just having fun with programming. So it's working now, but it looks absolutely terrible. And now the reason for this is the time is actually not being updated every second, it's being updated like every millisecond. Let me show you in the output. Look, it's like being updated a lot of times, but it's only displaying a single digit, which we've got to fix. Let us see if this is gonna work. Yes, it works. It's only playing it a single time. Now let's make it look a little bit better because it's kind of ugly right now. Oh, look at it. That actually looks nice. Now I don't know why, but whenever the time starts, it's starting at 0, which is weird. All right, so now it's working as intended, but my code is a little bit messier than I wanted it to be. That's fine. Nobody has to know. Let's see if this is gonna work. I'll see you guys in like 30 seconds. Actually, first of all, let's read the question. Would you rather eat a Big Mac every 6 hours or eat an exquisite meal once every 4 days? Personally, I love Big Macs. Therefore, Big Mac every 6 hours. Oh my god, do you see those effects? Beautiful. Now the countdown is gonna start looking pretty. Let's see. Oh, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Please work. Oh my god. The reason for this error is because I spelled part as per. Here we return. So, would you rather skip summer or skip winter? I mean, I live in Canada and summers here are amazing. Winter, I don't hate it, but I prefer the summer. Therefore, summer again. I mean, blue again. 4, 3, 2, 1. Please work. Please work. Please. Yes, it works. It worked. It worked. That was actually quite a bit of work, even though it doesn't seem like it, but I transferred or switched up all the game systems to raycasting instead of using Region 3 or the Roblox touch service. Because Region 3 is kind of inefficient. Plus, the touch also I heard is inefficient. Plus, I mean, it wasn't even working properly. So now everything is using raycasts, which works perfectly. And now I do believe I'm done with the game. As of right now, there isn't anything I want to add. I just want to get this out there to the world. And I do believe I'm going to make a part 2 to this video just because it was so much fun programming this. And there's just so much I could add. Possibilities are endless. I mean, I'm going to add a whole bunch more questions while I'm off camera. I'm also going to delete all of the dumb ones because there are quite a few dumb ones. So by the time you're watching this video, the game is going to be up, probably in the description. Make sure to check it out. I might be on it. I might be playing my own game because I'm a loser. But before we do that, I added a thumbnail to the game and I need a name. And I think I'm gonna go with Would You Rather. But we also need a description. Oh, and by the way, I also added the game icon. It's not that good. I know. I might change it later. We'll see. Alright, so the game is officially published on Roblox with voice chat, which means if you do see me, you can talk to me. And make sure to be in the lookout for a part 2 for this video because I also want to add the ability for you to add your own Would You Rather questions to this game, which I think would make it so much more fun. Anyways, I'll see you all in the next video.